Lioness Season 3 proves that sometimes the smartest way to keep a series fresh is not by making it bigger, but by making it more focused. Instead of repeating the formula that defined the earlier seasons, this new chapter takes everything that worked before and reshapes it into a tighter, more emotionally engaging story. The result is a season that feels more confident, more mature, and far more invested in the characters behind the missions. One of the biggest changes this season makes is moving away from the traditional Lioness recruitment storyline. Previous seasons centered on finding and training new operatives before placing them close to dangerous targets. That structure gave the show its identity, but there was always the risk that it could eventually become predictable. Season 3 wisely avoids that problem altogether. Rather than introducing another recruit, the story immediately places Joe McNamara and her established team at the center of a crisis that directly affects them. Cruz, Josie, Bobby, and the rest of the Quick Reaction Force already know each other, understand how they operate, and trust one another. That means the season spends less time explaining relationships and much more time exploring how those relationships are tested under extreme pressure. This change immediately creates stronger emotional stakes. Instead of watching strangers slowly earn each other's trust, viewers are following a team that already shares years of experience. Every dangerous mission feels more personal because these characters have genuine history together. The opening episode makes that clear within minutes. Instead of easing viewers back into the world, the season begins with a major operation that immediately establishes the seriousness of the threat. From there, the narrative splits into two timelines. One timeline follows the crisis as it unfolds in the present, while the other jumps back several months to reveal how events reached this point. This structure could easily have become confusing, but the writing handles it remarkably well. Rather than using flashbacks as simple exposition, both timelines constantly add new information that changes how viewers understand the larger story. Each revelation gives additional context without interrupting the momentum of the present-day narrative. The dual timeline approach also helps balance action with character development. The present-day scenes deliver urgency, while the earlier timeline allows quieter moments that deepen relationships, explain difficult decisions, and reveal the political calculations behind every mission. That balance becomes one of the season's greatest strengths. The action remains exactly what audiences expect from Lioness. Military operations are intense, tactical, and grounded in realism rather than spectacle. Extraction missions inside hostile territory create genuine suspense because success depends on planning, teamwork, and precision instead of impossible heroics. The inclusion of highly trained military dogs during several operations also adds another memorable element to the action. Rather than treating them as simple visual additions, the series demonstrates how valuable these specialized assets can be during dangerous missions. Yet, despite all the firefights and tactical operations, the season never loses sight of the intelligence work happening behind the scenes. Meetings between intelligence officials become just as engaging as combat sequences. Discussions about international politics, shifting alliances, and strategic decision-making are presented with confidence. The writers never simplify complex situations merely to make them easier to understand. Instead, they trust viewers to follow the geopolitical landscape, making the entire season feel more authentic and rewarding. At the center of everything remains Joe McNamara. Zoe Saldana once again delivers the performance that anchors the entire series. Joe has always been a capable field leader, but this season explores sides of her character that often remained beneath the surface before. She still commands operations with authority, but viewers also spend more time watching the emotional cost of those responsibilities. Every difficult decision leaves another mark. Every successful mission creates another sacrifice somewhere else. This growing emotional weight becomes especially noticeable during Joe's scenes with her family. Her marriage to Neil continues facing enormous pressure. Rather than creating conflict simply for dramatic effect, the relationship evolves naturally from years of secrecy, long absences, and impossible choices. Neither character is presented as entirely right or wrong. Instead, both are struggling to maintain a relationship while living completely different realities. The scenes involving their daughters may be limited, but they carry tremendous emotional impact. Each family interaction quietly reminds viewers what Jo risks losing every time she accepts another mission. Those moments prevent the series from becoming just another military thriller. They reinforce that every successful operation comes with personal consequences that cannot always be measured through mission reports. The supporting cast continues strengthening the series as well. Nicole Kidman once again brings calm authority to Caitlin, portraying someone who rarely allows emotion to interfere with national security decisions. Michael Kelly remains equally compelling as Byron, navigating the bureaucratic side of intelligence work with quiet confidence and political awareness. Meanwhile, returning members of Jo's operational team receive meaningful moments that build upon relationships established over previous seasons. Because these characters already know one another so well, even brief conversations reveal shared experiences that make the group feel believable. The new additions to the cast integrate smoothly without distracting from the established ensemble. Rather than competing for attention, they naturally expand the team's capabilities while allowing the existing characters to remain the emotional center of the story. Perhaps the season's greatest achievement is how successfully it balances scale with intimacy. The missions feel larger than ever before. The geopolitical consequences appear more serious. The international tensions continue escalating. Yet despite all of that, the story somehow feels more personal. Every operation ultimately comes back to Jo's responsibility toward both her country and her family. Those two worlds increasingly collide until maintaining both becomes almost impossible. That internal conflict gives the season much of its emotional power. Instead of focusing exclusively on external enemies, the series explores how constant pressure slowly changes the people responsible for protecting others. Jo's confidence remains one of her greatest strengths, but the season also asks whether relentless responsibility can eventually become its greatest weakness. Another aspect deserving praise is the pacing. The season knows exactly when to accelerate and when to slow down. Large action sequences never overwhelm quieter conversations, while slower character moments never stall the overall momentum. Every episode carefully builds tension before delivering another major development, creating a viewing experience that consistently rewards patience. Lioness Season 3 does not attempt to reinvent the spy thriller genre. Instead, it understands exactly what has always made this series successful and improves upon those strengths. The operational detail remains impressive. The performances continue elevating every scene. The political intrigue feels authentic. Most importantly, the emotional storytelling reaches a new level by placing equal importance on family relationships and national security. For longtime viewers, the shift away from the recruitment format feels like a natural evolution rather than a dramatic reinvention. It allows familiar characters to grow in meaningful ways while avoiding repetition. For newcomers, the season offers a smart, engaging espionage thriller filled with strong performances, thoughtful writing, and suspense that never relies solely on action. Lioness Season 3 stands as the series' strongest chapter because it understands that the most compelling conflicts are not always fought on the battlefield. Sometimes they unfold inside homes, around dinner tables, and within the minds of people forced to choose between protecting the world and protecting the people they love. By combining intelligent espionage, emotionally grounded storytelling, and consistently outstanding performances, the new season delivers a gripping experience that proves Lioness continues to evolve without ever losing the qualities that made it stand out in the first place.